Happy Halloween, everyone! For this spooky time of year, I will be reviewing Jordan Peele's directorial debut, Get Out. Or, as a friend of mine put it when I mentioned I didn't like a certain movie, the majority of people know Jordan Peele from Key and Peele and associate him and his partner with Class A comedy on all kinds of themes. But he was into horror movies and wanted to make one, so he gave us this unexpected thriller. Actually, I shouldn't say it was completely unexpected, since several of the Key and Peele skits had some horror elements to them, my personal favorite being the Family Matters one. Chris is a young black man who goes to meet the parents of his white girlfriend Rose. The parents, notably the dad Dean, makes Chris feel welcome by using words like thang and my man and saying he would vote for Obama for a third term. They also have two black housekeepers who act very odd, Georgina in particular acting like she gets mood swings. But as Chris spends more time at the house, he learns a very dark secret the family has. Even from the very beginning, we see that things aren't right in the long opening take where a man named Andre walks around in the suburbs at night and gets kidnapped. The old-timey music adds more discomfort to that scene. I first watched the movie when it first came out on DVD, and at first I had no idea what I would get. But the more I thought about it and the more I watched it, I thought, this is kind of brilliant. It provided a fascinating insight into how black people are treated in a seemingly post-racial America. The Guardian's review for this movie had a very interesting description about the family. The villains here aren't southern rednecks or neo-Nazi skinheads or the so-called alt-right. They're middle-class white liberals, the kind of people who read this website. The kind of people who shop at Trader Joe's. But I go to Trader Joe's. I can't be one of them. I mean, the people who work there may be of different races, but they're like the best people that I had the pleasure of knowing. It just can't be. Um, they also, donate to the ACLU and would have voted for Obama a third time if they could. Good people. Nice people. Your parents probably. The thing Get Out does so well, and the thing that will rankle with some viewers, is to show how, however unintentionally, these same people can make life so hard and uncomfortable for black people. It exposes a liberal ignorance and hubris that has been allowed to fester. It's an attitude, an arrogance which in the film leads to a horrific final solution, but in reality leads to a complacency that is just as dangerous. Daniel Kaluuya is really good as Chris. His reactions to the family and their friends is very well played, ranging from amusing to blood-curdling. When he first meets the parents of his girlfriend, things feel a bit awkward but well-meaning, until the mother Missy brings him in to hypnotize him and sends him into this dark abyss that she calls the sunken place. I can strongly tell that this shot has earned a place in the iconic horror film shots Hall of Fame. In my opinion, the creepiest character is Georgina, who provides a lot of the jump scares, which are pretty well done, not being very loud like most horror movies. In one scene, where Chris talks to her, she starts to become emotional, but she regains her composure with tears still pouring down her face, and from my perspective, channels Shia LaBeouf in a creepy way. No, 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 no. Later, during a party with colleagues of the family, Chris encounters Andre from the beginning, who acts very peculiar, just like Walter and Georgina. However, when Chris takes a picture with a flash, Andre starts to look frightened and gets a nosebleed and shouts out to Chris the film's title. Now this is the moment where things are definitely right for our protagonist. He tries to convince Rose to leave with him, but it is too late. Now for as much creepy elements this movie has, it also has some very funny humor, and the character who gets the majority of laughs is Chris's friend, Rod. Occasionally, Chris would call Rod and tell him of his situation, and Rod would give his hilarious viewpoint on it. He is such a funny bit of fresh air from all the uncomfortableness we the audience had to go through. But he is also reliable and not at all dumb. Another pretty amusing scene is during the party scene where a woman named Lisa checks out Chris by feeling his muscles and asks him, "Is it true?" Well, I think a certain German burlesque dancer would tell her, "Yes, it's true. It's true. It's true." In fact, the attention to detail in this movie is very excellent. Listen very closely to the dialogue in the first and second act, and you'll find some very clever hidden hints. Also, observe anything with collar. Now, before I forget, it turns out what the family has been up to all this time is that they use their daughter as bait to lure black people into their home and transplant the brains of their old friends into the bodies while the original person remains trapped in the sunken place. They do this so they could be immortal, but most of all have attributes that they highly value from black people. And it's revealed that Walter and Georgina are actually the grandparents. So confusing scenes like Walter running towards Chris and turning right make sense when you remember how Dean mentioned to Chris how his dad lost against Jesse Owens and almost got over it. And from the looks of it, the real Georgina, if that's truly her real name, seems to be attempting to take control of her body again, hence the mood swings, but the grandmother always takes control. You gotta admire her persistence, yet it is so terrible what she, Walter, and Andre had to go through. Ironically, Jim Hudson, the blind arts dealer who would be transplanted into Chris's body, really wants to be able to see again through Chris's eyes. Still, that would pose a problem if he would use flash photography because... Anyway, Chris manages to escape and kill off the family. He brings back the real Walter with a flash who shoots Rose and himself. As Chris tries to finish off Rose, a police car arrives. But fortunately, it is Rod to the rescue! Chris drives off with his friend as Rose breathes her last. But the original ending was much darker in that it shows Chris in jail and Rod visiting him. But since there's been so much discrimination to black people recently, Peele changed it, and honestly, I thought it was the right choice, and very well earned. I mean, horror cinema needs to give black people a break more frequently. Get Out is a very impressive debut by Jordan Peele with creepy features, tension-relieving humor, and an intriguing reflection on current racial issues. Of course, Key and Peele tackle such issues in their show, but this movie deals with those issues in a much dramatic manner. Even though I tend to stay away from horror movies in the theaters, after watching Get Out, I am very much interested in what Jordan Peele has lined up next for his career as a director. The social commentary he brings up is so fascinating, and it seems like most people haven't taken this movie the wrong way and are open-minded to what he would bring out next. But for the present moment, Get Out gets my very strong approval. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next time when I will be reviewing... excuse me. Hello? I thought he was with you. Oh no. Okay, I'll try not to worry. Okay, let me know if he's okay. Thanks. Bye. Oh, my friend Brad hasn't seen his friend Don for a few days now, and he was just checking with me if he was here with me, but he's not, so he's just going to check at Jeff's place. Just cut to the outro.